to That Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to That Wrestling Podcast. The good bad guys of wrestling podcasts are back. We're talking all things of the week that was in professional wrestling. Well, not all of us. Joe isn't here. Maybe last week your guys backhanded compliments for his birthday. Maybe they made him just shy away to be on this week. Do you feel any bad about that?
No.
Shield didn't have a fourth member.
We're
good. We're good to go.
Damn.
Jesus.
Wow.
Put it in. Sierra Hotel. No, just
Oh, don't need that. A little late.
Unbelievable. So yeah, it is me and Jason and Kevin, and we got a lot of good wrestling to talk about. We got some stuff coming up for this weekend that's happening. The Forbidden Door is being open. But let's talk about the cool ass shit that was WWE this week. We can go back, I guess, first to Friday night. This one was long rumored of Jacob Fatu and where he would fit in with the whole bloodline thing. He'd been rumored to be signed around WrestleMania time. And what a debut. He comes, he helps to save Solo, takes out Kevin Owens, takes out Randy Orton, takes out Cody Rhodes. Wow. And Jay, I'll go to you first because I know you know probably the most about him. I know he's an MLW guy.
Yeah.
Was he on the Ric Flair retirement card?
Probably. I don't remember. But I know him as a member of War Beast. And they were a faction that ran in PCW Ultra in LA down near Long Beach. And if you want to have some fun after you get done watching this podcast, or if you want to Google something, then pause the podcast, go watch it, and then come back. Google Jacob Fatu fan.
Oh, yeah, you sent that.
I was at that show where some dumbass crossed the rail and Fatu knocked him on his ass, threw a chair at him. It was awesome. And I love when it goes viral every 6 to 8 months. And that guy ran out. For a moment, I thought, oh, this is part of the show. But no, that guy, I think everything we ever go to, there's always one jack off. Yells, screams, shit that makes no sense. You might as well just throw a green Kool-Aid Man shirt on it.
Oh,
it's that guy.
Yeah, but that guy walked in past the barrier walking like Stone Cold. He walked with confidence in that video.
Yeah, and that confidence went straight up.
And then he went down like a tree.
Jacob Fatu fan on YouTube. Enjoy. But no, look, we had talked about potential new people for this new version of the Bloodline. Yeah. Fatu obviously was rumored and signed back a few months back. And look, I didn't see that coming. I thought Hikuleu was going to come before Jacob Fatu. But look, from the last time I saw Fatu until last Friday night, he slimmed down, boy. He is ready to go. His merch for WWE is awesome. The Samoan Werewolf shirt, unbelievable.
I've yet to see that. I'll have to check that.
Yeah.
And
that's a great nickname.
Well, he's had that forever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's good. I'm glad it happened. And, you know, again, the surprises make wrestling better. I've said it a million times, and I'm saying to say it a million more times. This is the stuff that is needed. If he went to AEW, he potentially could have been the champ, I think, because of the buzz and how badass he is. If you're bored and you want to Google something else on YouTube, just type in Jacob Fatu mixtape. He's not a rapper, but just the highlight reel of the stuff this guy should not be able to do, but he does.
But like with the mixtape, he throws down some beats, as in beats downs. Get it?
Okay. I'm like,
I'll say this.
Like, wow, you're showing how white you really are, Kevin. But okay,
wait, hold on.
Your delivery needs work.
I am very Caucasian, but I will say this. You had a lot of history with watching him. I was very limited, and I did not watch live last Friday. We had a prior engagement, and then we went to my hometown, St. Clair Shores, Brian's neck of the woods now on Saturday. Yada, yada, yada. That night, had a few beers with Brian, and Brian's like, did you watch SmackDown? I'm like, we're watching it tomorrow, right? Brett and I are watching it tomorrow. And he's like, do you want me to spoil anything for you? And I'm like, looking at Brian, and he's like, with his little smile. And I'm like, yes, yes, please. So he told me about Drew Punk a little bit, and he's like, do you want to know the big thing? And I'm like, yes, I do. Okay. And he tells me about and you painted it perfect, like a picture, Bri. The beatdown of Solo, then he's in and he gives that devilish grin, and like just such a badass smile. And then Fatu just runs massive over everybody. Your description was perfect, but you didn't say it was that brutal. Yeah. But it was one hell of a debut. Taking out Owen super kick, Orton super kick, back to back. And then he was running around the ring as fast as Braun Breaker, I feel. Like on the outside when he speared or hit Orton where the barrier didn't break. I was like, ooh, like it looks so impactful. Everything looks so impactful. His mannerisms, his random grunts of after he did a move, his camera, like he did look very slim. What I don't want from this is everyone in the new bloodline wears the suits. I don't want to see him in a suit. I don't want to see him wearing a suit like Solo and company. I want to see him look a little bit different. I want to see him look a little bit not falling in line, but almost being like the heavy. Like Solo, talker, great. Other two almost look like bodyguards. I want Fatu to look like the monster. And I think Jay, you mentioned something about forget what the text is, and I was like instantly ranked up as my new favorite member of the new bloodline. Mm-hmm. Instant. Like he made that impact, and it makes me think I'm just like, okay, Cody has some pretty damn big competition on SmackDown. There's some heavy hitters that are going to come after him, but I'd say it made me so much more invested in the Bloodline 2.0, because if we got Roman coming back, right, and say the Usos do align with them versus New Bloodline, on paper, hell no. New Bloodline is no chance, right? Unless it's cheating. But with Jacob Fatu, that's a wild card. Holy shit, that debut was awesome.
Yeah, and that was my biggest takeaway. He looked great. But when I looked at it overall, thinking about this is his first time on WWE programming, and your debut is taking out Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Cody Rhodes. And I was like, I mean, that's how you make a guy seem like a big deal. That's crazy. And it got me thinking about the most impactful debuts. Kev, you already said the name of the group a second ago. I was like, The Shield. How they took out Ryback, right? And instantly you went, holy cow, who are these three guys? And I was trying to think of some other ones, but I mean, did anybody think of something off your top of your head of like, this guy or girl came on the scene and you went, whoa, instantly big time player?
WWE Jade Cargill. Not AEW Jade Cargill.
From the Rumble, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a good one.
Yeah.
You can go back to Jericho one-on-one with the Rock.
Yeah.
You could do the Nexus. You could do the Shield.
Yeah, Nexus is what I was thinking.
Nexus is one of the best. But impactful of hitting the three biggest baby faces potentially on the SmackDown brand, you're putting a lot of optimism on the back of this guy. I thought and he delivered. And they delivered with him. They made him look like the monster, because those super kicks, holy moly. But, Owens took it like a champ. He sold it like a champ. And it made me think, wow, he just kicked him right in that jaw. That jaw has to be broke. Like, it made me go like, ooh, cringe in my chair while watching, because it was so believable on all ends.
Yeah.
So November 19th, 1990.
Doink the Clown. No,
Undertaker.
Yes.
oh,
I'm trying to find
is that
the
Survivor Series?
Survivor Series. Yeah.
match now.
Thank you, DiBiase, for
Well,
that.
okay, so I'm technically wrong because it looks like he had a singles match.
I'd like to real quick say
Please do.
Corey Graves and Wade Barrett did it too. I mean, they did a whole, you know who this is? Oh, like he should be locked up. This guy's nuts. You know, that sort of thing. That they put him over so much too. It was so well done.
Yeah. It makes me, just like this past Monday, what was the Wyatt Six going to do to go from the previous Monday? I look forward to seeing how they're going to deliver Jacob Fatu tomorrow night on SmackDown, right? Because we were on that's going to be big because it's big. What are you going to do?
Yeah, there's people, you know, everybody can talk anything they want online, but there's people who believe in this guy so much that they're like, he should be the leader of this new bloodline, not Solo. Like that's how good this guy is. I went and I saw him cut a promo on MLW, and he was talking about what's it, Alex Hammerstone.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about dog walking him and stuff. It was good. A lot of passion, a lot of fire.
Hammerstone's a guy that another SoCal indie guy I would see, and he used to have long hair, and they refer to him as Single H because he was not as tall as Triple H. He looked just like him.
That's good. That's good.
PCW Ultra, one of the best indies in Southern California, man. I'm not gonna lie, I do miss that type of stuff and not being there and living there anymore, but man, definitely check it out if you can.
Yeah, hell of a debut for Jacob Fatu. Let's get into Monday Night Raw, and Kev, you already alluded to it. It was something. It caught, I think, everybody's attention. Of course, just the follow up. We were thinking like, how is this going to happen? Because you know the line, Chad Gable's dead. You know, everything people laid out everywhere. Like, what are they going to do? And of course, they had the V.H.S tape that eventually got played with Uncle Howdy interviewing Bo Dallas. And we don't need to go into it because if you've seen it, you've seen it, and it was something, guys.
You guys watched the movie The Ring back in the day?
No.
I did once. I don't remember too much about it, but yeah.
Like I kind of got glimpses of that, like a lot of the QR codes and little snippets. But I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Everything it pulled on your strings when they mentioned, you know, Bray, and it was like, okay, we know Uncle Howdy is Bo's under that mask, but I looked at him as the character talking to Bo, and it pulled on the strings. Like I loved it. It was emotional. Bo, his delivery, let alone, you know, pre-recorded, but you can't pull that passion unless you actually feel it. So it's kind of like, you know, blurring the lines of how he's feeling emotionally, what he wants his character to be, how deep his character is going to be. I was glued in. I want more, but I don't want to wait every Monday to get it. That's the bad thing. Like,
well, yeah, because they didn't do anything on SmackDown.
yeah, I want them to do something on SmackDown, but like bad. I don't want to have to wait every Monday to get a snippet or every Monday to get something. Formerly known as Nikki Cross, still creepy as hell. Just walking through the crowd, and people aren't trying to touch her, which is nice. Walking to the crowd, like sometimes you get people patting on the back, you know, of Jey Uso. People are respecting like the art that's going into it. And I thought Michael Cole played it off awesome. For some reason, I thought it was going to be a Lily
head.
doll. What?
McAfee's head.
Oh,
What's in the box, right?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
You know,
shout out to the movie 7.
You know, this is not for me.
Okay.
I think it's well done, but Kevin, you said a word that is the antithesis of what this is or isn't going to be. And that word was pre-recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's going to be pre-recorded. Now, I referred this to Teen Wolf 2 last week, meaning same story, different person in the lead. Now, he's not trying to replace The Fiend or Bray Wyatt, but that's essentially what is happening. So I think the execution is cool, but like, you know, the Wyatt Six and Braun Breaker or Ludwig Kaiser or Carmelo Hayes, like one of these things is not like the other. And for me, I'm just having a hard time trying to put it all in the same universe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like this would be like if, I don't know, Ernest was in a Marvel movie. Brian, the Marvel movies are all comic book superhero movies, whereas Ernest goes to camp. Not quite the same.
But did we get an
Hey,
Ernest
Vern, that's
Goes?
Iron Man.
Did we get an Ernest Goes Wrestling though?
Yeah,
No, that was Brian
I
being.
don't know why that came up, but yes.
I just think.
Oh yeah, I remember that
I
now.
swear.
Because Ernest looks like John Cena. Or John
He
Cena.
does. He does.
Look, it is what it is. I was not one chasing down QR codes. I was not one chasing down clues.
Yeah.
I just wasn't. I loved the whole Bray Wyatt Fiend, everything. I loved it all. I thought it was cool. Don't need the rehash. This isn't for WWE. Like, it just doesn't work for me there. But whatever. I've said too much.
Yeah.
I'm going to get slammed. But
No.
it is what it is. It's just part of the show for me. I will watch. I'm just not, it's not the biggest part of the show for me.
One thing, everything's not for everybody, right? But people can change their thought process. Like I used to hate Cena, right? Now I love him. Some people come around. Not saying I want you to come around for this, but never say never. That's all I can say.
You used to not like me. I mean,
Never say
now
never.
we're buds. Shit. Sierra Hotel, India.
vacations and
Oh man.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes. The other three still haven't done anything. But what are they going to do in front of a live crowd? Then talk. Then I will put my final thoughts out there. And if you're watching this on YouTube, let us know in the comments down below what you think. If you're listening on audio, definitely let us know in the comments what you think about this and the podcast in general. We're coming up to our 200th episode, and we definitely need to get some more likes, comments, subscriptions. All of that stuff helps us out in the long run. So whether you're listening on audio or watching on YouTube, please do the couple little clicks would really help us out in the long run. So
maybe we should do like a QR code.
No.
Brian, like I'm very optimistic on it. Jason's not pessimistic. He's just kind of more the realist of maybe it's gonna fail. What did you think? Like from the camera shots to the emotions to the back and forth to the push out where you saw, Uncle Howdy and Bo actually talking to each other.
I mean, I absolutely loved it. I didn't know how they would get to that point. Now we know the motivation of this group, right? They didn't just come up with a lot of weird cryptic things of, I think Bray's last return was, there was always messaging of like, who killed the world? Like those kind of far out things that you don't really understand. Now we know that this is Bo Dallas, Taylor Rotunda, basically carrying on his brother's legacy. And he says it why. He's the most important person in my life. I've lost him. And just the shock of having those questions. Are you exploiting your brother's legacy? whoa, they went there.
Yeah.
I loved it. I think that's one of my favorite things I've seen all year. But I will say, though, like Jason, how is it going to translate when they have to get in the ring? And that's the $1 million question I still have before I go all in on what this thing is and what it could be. I have to see it. The Fiend wrestled in a mask. The original Wyatt family did not. How is this going to look? How are the matches going to look and feel? So that's that part I'm still having doubts with because I just don't know. But for the shock of the first week with the whole backstage beatdown of everybody to what they pulled this week, I got nothing but praise.
This is the thing though. So maybe next week we get Uncle Howdy sitting down with Ramblin' Rabbit, right? And Eric Rowan takes the mask off and explains why he sees himself as that character. Like he can see themselves, like portray that character and then truly wrestle without it. Like that's the fun thing. Cause I imagine that's what we still got 3 more minus Uncle Howdy and
that's right.
Or no, 4. So that's what's going to be interesting. So maybe we just get a little video, little clip each Monday.
I don't know if they'll
leading up to SummerSlam for a debut. It's 4 weeks away, 5 weeks away, about 4.5 weeks away. So like something's going to have to happen there.
It's going to be the psychiatrist hour with Uncle Howdy.
Well, Money in the Bank is next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's going to happen there
for a match. No,
I don't know.
I don't know.
No idea where
that. But that's the good thing. We never know. That's the excitement that goes with it. Because are you going to attack people in the ring or is it going to be the pre-recorded? You brought that word up. That's going to be interesting is when they actually do something on the mic in the ring live. How are people going to do? Are they going to cheer? Are they going to make noise or is it going to be dead silence?
You actually brought up pre-recorded, but
no, I brought pre-recorded, but you mentioned I brought a good word, right? The good thing is we're talking long about it, which is Jay might not be buying in yet, but I think I gave it 100% success rate. I'm still standing behind it.
And
I want it to happen.
Stand your ground. All right.
That was the most excited I've ever been about Bo Dallas. Everyone can agree to that.
No, Bo Leave was amazing.
I like Bo Leave. But I texted Matt when he texted me the next day, like, holy shit, that was amazing. I go, that was the first time I thought Bo like kind of like, oh, Bo and Wyndham are brothers. Like just the way he talked, his cadence. It was the first time like they're very different from any interaction that I had seen of them together in the past. That was the first time I made like a real connection of like, yeah, they are brothers because they just had similar speech patterns and mannerisms. It was something, man.
It was good.
Before we go on with the next stuff, guys, last week, the highlight, of course, of the show was the surprise of the cinch of going on the Jericho cruise.
We'll give it the surprise of the millennium.
It was something.
Yeah, nobody ever saw that.
So you guys know, off the air, I told you my wife is out of town. So I guess she's not done with surprises because she goes, I have one more thing that I want you to open up. I'm going to leave you a gift to open up on the podcast.
Oh,
for the anniversary. And I've got it here next to me.
If it's a VHS tape, this is playing.
I haven't peeked. It's a pink bag.
It's a Speedo.
So let's see what this is.
It's matching Rey Mysterio masks. Watch out.
That's fucked up. What?
So is this bit fucked up?
The hell is that? Well, guys, I mean, I think we got to do this, right? I mean, luckily,
Oh, it's not a bit. Okay.
yeah. I mean, luckily, I
You got a V. You still. Yeah, that's right.
I,
You do have the VCR DVD combo. I remember that.
I do. Yeah. So
For everyone listening, what are you holding, by the way?
yeah, I'm holding a VHS tape. I feel like Michael Cole's little brother or something. So, okay, let me put this in here. I keep it right above my laptop, actually. It's crazy. All right, let's see here. See if I can pop this up. Let's see. You're asking me for audio.
Well, you're frozen right now. So.
I was gonna say blink
Okay.
twice.
Oh, geez. Let's see.
No, for real, you are frozen. So I don't know if
Okay.
it's part of
Can
the
you hear
video.
me?
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
you.
Oh,
wait,
there you go.
you're back now.
Welcome back.
Well,
Oh
This
my.
here?
It's
All right.
you started screen sharing.
Let's see as this plays here.
Oh, it's 3 minutes. This is gonna be good. You are about to watch. Joe does not.
Hey guys, do I have your attention? Alright, now that I do, sorry I can't make it this week, but I do have to give my 2 cents on the V.H.S video. Jason keeps mentioning Teen Wolf 2.
again.
Unless you consider Teen Wolf 2 to be a cinematic masterpiece, which some people may, that was not Teen Wolf 2. What happened this past Monday was cinematic, close to masterpiece. And it wasn't Bo, I said in the text that it was, made it real that it was Bo Dallas. That was not Bo Dallas. In that 4 minutes on that grainy VHS, he did more in that 4 minutes than he did in his entire run as Bo Dallas. This is going to be fantastic. Last week, they made an impression as a team. This week, one man proved that they have a plan. And it's going to be really hard for them to top what happened this past Monday with the grainy VHS. Just like it may be hard for me to top what I'm doing right now. However, I'm not exactly high ranking according to 2 of my That Wrestling Podcast brethren.
Neither did I.
Yep, you and your wife in cahoots.
Joe, I will say this. Happy birthday. 45 is seems like a great number. See you in a few years. And you are officially my 4th favorite TWP main roster podcaster.
Oh, man.
Wow, I'm last. Perfect.
Yeah, fourth for me too.
Really? 4? I may have 2 for you, but I'm not going to show it there. This is going to be an outstanding program, and I cannot wait to see the results of the V.H.S, what they do next week and beyond. Teen Wolf 2? Maybe if you're a Bateman fan. That was its own story.
Well, wow. There
Wow.
you have it. Joe
Thanks,
making
Angela.
an impact while he can't even be here. What do you have to say, guys?
He was spitting truth, 100% of it.
That's out of the player. There we go.
From mentioning the cinematic masterpiece to the ranking system, I think.
Wow.
No, I'm just all jokes aside. I'm glad he it was very nice. The video is great. The setup with the FBI warning I thought was very nice. Unexpected. I'm glad Joe agrees with me.
Yeah. Jason, anything on that?
No.
Wow. Not speechless.
Whose idea was that?
That was Joe's.
It was good. It was good. Kudos to
That
Joe.
was, yes. Very, very good.
Maybe the most effort he has put in 192 episodes of this.
If he was filming in a dark room wearing sunglasses, do you think he actually saw anything?
Oh, funny story about that. I'm not even worrying about him anymore. Well, kind of him. So my wife's family was on vacation, and the podcast came up. So they were watching. They thought Joe was blind
You told me that.
because he wears sunglasses.
Shit.
Yeah. Whatever.
We all got our gimmicks.
No, I the video was great. I thought it was.
All right. Well, you'll have to tell them in person maybe next week. All right. Let's get on with the next topic. Triple H was on the
Fuck you, Brian.
show.
Fuck you.
Oh,
Whoa! What happened?
That's the lead into the next thing.
Oh, but you did. I see. Yes,
There you go.
Censorship. That's right. That came up just in the conversation talking about the move to Netflix and how confirming, what we all kind of speculated, that once Raw goes on Netflix, there's not going to be any censorship as it is now, where the shows on Fox or USA have to bleep out swears from the crowd, maybe have the screen go to black. I know that happened a lot with The Rock leading up to WrestleMania. What do you think about this change? Is this have positive ramifications or possibly some negative ramifications?
I think it's a comment. My personal opinion, I think it's a comment to say, hey, potentially anything can go. You're going to see people doing crazy stuff. You're going to see maybe hear a cuss word. You're going to XYZ. Let's go back to the Attitude Era. I think people are wanting to maybe see Sable versus Jacqueline when Sable kept on giving her the power bomb and you saw Jacqueline maybe lose her top. I think that's what you're going to see a lot of people want, or you're going to see a lot of cuss words. That's what people really want. I think we might get a little slip up here and there. I think it's a lot of potentially anything can go. I don't necessarily think everything's going to go, because I think if Triple H can be in the back saying, hey, you swear that's $1,000, right? But we do hear Cody said asshole like a month ago on like real TV, didn't he?
When Howard Stern went over to SiriusXM, everybody thought it was going to be the F show, F. And it wasn't, but words said. While I don't think the talent is going to go crazy with the language, the stupid ass fans who think they're more part of the show than they actually are going to be the problem. Brian and I have a 6-pack bet on the first night where shit's going to go sideways because the fans are jackasses. I think this is going to not be good. And I don't know if this is my age. Maybe I'm just getting older. I don't need the Attitude Era Part 2. Everyone has such a hard-on for that. Yeah, it was cool 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, don't need it. If you want to see that and that's what you're into, all right, there's places for that. WWE is not the place for that. I'm curious, really, what's going to happen with the stockholders. If shit goes sideways, like I think it potentially could, stockholders, because regardless of your thoughts on, me, I don't like to have fun, or I'm an old guy that's not in the loop. It makes dollars, it makes sense. And you start taking away people's dollars, yeah. There'll be delays. There will be other things put into place so that people aren't jackasses like I think they are going to be.
Kev, you said kind of what you thought and expected, but you watch regularly with Brett, with your son.
Yeah.
So Does that worry you at all about, well, they're going to be
Oh,
maybe.
he hears all those words from me all the time.
Oh, look at that. Daddy of the year.
They might not censor it, but they can pipe in or pipe down the crowd, right? We've seen it. I feel like sometimes when you're like in the France for Backlash or in Puerto Rico, I feel like you can make that crowd. Yes, the crowd was hot, right? But you can also make it sound a little bit louder. Not saying they did that, but you can also mute the crowd a little bit.
But the problem, Kevin, is when they do that, they're going to catch hell from the fan. Why are they lowering the crowd? Why? Just like when they were adding crowd noise and chants before.
Because you're not hearing people chant, "Don't be a pussy," or different things like that. Like, I think WWE's getting away from the cheap pops, right? AEW's a little bit more of that. I don't want to say WWE's better than that, but I feel that you kind of hit something on the nose. If something's going to go a little bit crazy, it's going to be the fans.
Yeah.
But the fans have also classed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to get a guy saying, "Fuck this motherfucker" in a t-shirt in the front row, like,
Be on
or
a
anything
sign
like that. Or Turks and Caicos guy, by saying that, right? He's not going to say, "Fuck you, Cody," in the front row with his $100.
Wait. Who?
The guy who wears like the flag.
I think it's Trinidad. Yeah, he's one of
Trinidad and Tobago. Oh, not Turks and
fans,
Caicos.
like our
Trinidad
green
and
shirt.
Tobago guy.
Yeah,
he's like
you haven't
the
seen
guy who
him?
wears the flag.
I don't think so. All I know,
Well, when you're doing your Googles of Jacob Fatu, Google Trinidad Tobago fan. He's on there. I'm telling you.
Well, the original ref is lame. I don't know who the original ref is, or if it's the same guy in every city that has the same original ref sign. That's lame. Because you're not the original ref. Because you're not 100 years old. You're like 20.
Yeah.
You're not the original ref.
Earl Hebner's still alive, damn it.
I'm the original host of this podcast. I could have a sign that says the original host. I'm
original
not
host.
I'm the original host of this. He is not the original ref. Because he's not old enough to be the original ref.
Yeah, but if Brian's like the Solo of the new bloodline, he's going to bring in Jacob Fatu, so watch out.
Sorry, wise man. Jason's not coming back.
Wait, are we on Netflix? Fuck this motherfucker, Kevin. Fuck him. Fuck. I
guess I'm going to that other wrestling podcast.
That other one. I just don't want to see it get cheesy for the hell of it. That's the biggest thing.
All right, Kev.
And I feel like we have professionals.
Do you want it to go back to the Attitude Era?
No. It has evolved from the Attitude Era.
So you're watching with Brett live.
Mm-hmm.
Shit goes sideways.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Oh, he looks at me like when Cody went, "What is this? Something, bitch!" Like with him and the recreation of the his beautiful wife against Jade in AEW, right?
Oh,
Brett hears the cuss word and he does like a slow-mo look at me with the big eyes and the thing, because he knows like all the cuss words. He watches, he knows he's not supposed to say them, but he would probably be like, "Whoa, this is getting hot and heated."
So fun sidebar, but kind of related. I was at my parents' house last week and they were watching some show. I think it was House. Do you remember that show, House?
Yeah, he was a doctor, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a doctor show. She goes, "Oh, well, we watch this show House on whatever channel they watch it on." And it's a doctor show, I think. And the first 7 minutes of the show, it's people having sex.
Oh, dang. What episode is this? I'm going to write it down. No,
My mom just made me laugh because, Jason, it's not like this, I swear. It's not like this ever. I don't know what this is, but this is not how the show always is.
He watches all the time.
Those are the worst moments when you were a kid watching that stuff.
Mom, I wanted to watch House, not Whore House.
Mom, I thought we were watching Full House. Where's Uncle Jesse?
Full House, yeah.
Yeah,
you're cutting out.
I guess it's kind of that, Brett is, at least he's smart enough he knows what's right and what's wrong. And that's a thumbs up to you guys for teaching him that stuff. But I just that first episode is going to be a shit show, and I'm going to collect a 6-pack from Brian.
Well, we aren't censored, so shit will go through if they do say that word on the first night on Netflix.
But so I just don't want it to be like, I think the level that it's at now, as far as the content is fine. I'm mature enough that I don't have to worry about if the crowd is chanting "Holy shit!" that they literally don't have to have the guy on the censor button. Holy,
Yes, that's a good point.
That's what I'm not gonna miss.
Right.
That's fine on Netflix. You know, I mentioned it quickly. The Rock comes out and he'll say bullshit or whatever, and Fox will put the whole screen black that you miss a third of the promo.
Oh no, I get it. And that's on Dwayne. That's not on the company or Fox. That's on Dwayne.
I understand. I'm saying those are the things going to Netflix that I'm going to be like, good, cool, right on. I don't want it to be attitude level. I would like to think that Triple H, who's a proud father of daughters, much like myself, would know that he doesn't need to do the content that he did in the Attitude Era. There's stuff that you see floating around on Twitter from back in the day that even I don't remember. One was DX out on the street in New York City going to like this newsstand or convenience store that's clearly run by an Indian gentleman.
Yes.
Have you seen that clip?
Yes.
And they're there like, oh, which way to Pakistan? It's like, what? You can't do that now.
No, but Brian, this isn't about the talent. This is about the fans.
I understand that.
Knowing that they're not going to be censored, give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. I have no doubt that's going to happen, and I'm going to get my 6-pack of the most expensive beer I can find.
Night one, maybe not. I feel like we could get a lot of mishaps from, say, if you get a temporary NXT call-up who might be a little bit more green than, say, like a Seth Rollins. Seth ain't going on there and saying no F-bomb. You could have a
call-up. Why would you think that? These guys are in the system.
They're in the system, but they don't have the laps or the repetitions as a main roster.
Doesn't matter. It's repetition as a talent. It's the fans that are going to be the problem, not the talent.
Only time will tell. When is it? November?
January 1st.
January.
Oh, January. Oh, damn.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I have a little more faith in the fans. But it's happened before. I think when this came up, I brought up the example of, I'll never forget watching the USA Network like preview leading into the One Night Stand pay-per-view. And there's Jonathan Coachman. I've never found this footage. There's Jonathan Coachman and whoever, maybe Michael Cole or somebody, like talking outside. The fans are literally right behind them chanting, "You suck dick."
Well, no, that's exactly. I was thinking the biggest time where the fans could go crazy is when they show those announcers, and there's always, you'll see people go like this or like pose behind the.
No, they do the blowjob thing.
Yeah,
they do the blowjob hand motion. You want a 6-pack bet?
That's the chance it'll.
No, I'm good.
The fans are gonna fuck shit up, and it's gonna be their fault.
Fan-friendly guy here. I'm believing in him. We'll see.
Maybe it's gonna be the fan that crosses the line with Jacob Fatu.
No censoring that.
Jacob Fatu fan, YouTube, watch it.
All right, can we go?
Real quick. Dijack's a free agent. He posted a letter earlier on Thursday, going into some pretty detail of, he was supposed to stick around in NXT and challenge for the title, and they called me up, and I've pitched so many ideas, and they really haven't negotiated. Well, what's your take on this, guys? I mean, I'll tell you, that was one of the reasons when we did like our draft episode that I saw him going to Raw. I'm like, that's going to be cool because I really liked his NXT run. I'm very puzzled by this one.
What is it? Creative doesn't have anything for you.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Puzzling to me.
Let him in NXT. They should have kept him in NXT and then brought his twin brother Matt Cardona in, and they could have been a tag team.
Now we gotta say now we can get that on the indies.
So because they
I
look
feel like
exactly the same.
when you have Holland on NXT and he looks like a beast, you could definitely have him on NXT and kind of push up the program. That's the biggest thing. It was a lot of words on his little picture. So I hope it leads to a thing of frustration and maybe he comes out and doesn't leave. I know the biggest thing is, oh, is he going to leave? Is he going to go in AEW? What's the confidence level? I don't want to see him go anywhere. I want to see him actually get somewhat of a push in the system of WWE. So hopefully he's just doing another swerve. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, he said I think the Friday today, the 28th, is his last day. Um, I saw Brett Lauderdale of GCW said like, "Hey, can you make it to like Texas on Saturday?" Forbidden Door is Sunday. I believe
Yep.
the ladder match has a like mystery question mark entry. So I mean, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, talented dude. I would be down for him and Trick if that was the plan before he got called up. That's a great feud. I don't know. This one, yeah, like I said, very puzzling to me. Very talented guy. I saw somebody else on Twitter that I thought had a really good thought about him. Let's look at Damian Priest and compare him to Dijak. Damian Priest is slightly younger. I'd say Priest maybe not quite as good in the ring as Dijak, and promo levels maybe about even. And here's your heavyweight champion, Damian Priest. Does that seem far fetched, guys? I think it's pretty fair.
It's a good comparison.
Yeah.
The only reason I'd say Damian Priest might be a little bit better overall is because we see him a lot more.
Yeah.
That's my biggest I'd say little comment on the promo ring overall, comparison between the two of he looks like $1,000,000 on paper because we never see him. That's the biggest thing. I'd love to see him. We just don't. And if he shows up in AEW in the ladder match, we'll get into the card rundown in a few minutes. Great. Cool. But does he go there and falter like everyone else?
Yeah.
Or not used correctly? Or use it all? And then he's going to be like, damn, I have this in my old company. Shucks.
Yeah.
So we'll
Tough,
see.
man. It's tough.
We'll see.
Somebody else who there's been word on the street about as far as being somebody who could go to AEW started with good old Conrad Thompson. I don't know how it came up. I'm sure on one of his podcasts about Shane McMahon going to AEW, and he said, from his friends in AEW, basically, it's not as far fetched as you may think that Shane at least put some feelers out there of the people he knows in the company of like, what if I would go there? That's all fine and good, but then here's what we got earlier on Thursday in an interview with Sports Illustrated. Tony Khan was asked about this, and he says that Shane McMahon is always welcome in AEW. Quote, I heard the rumor he might be interested. I've never met Shane, but we have a lot of mutual friends. I have a lot of respect for him as an executive and a professional wrestler. Shane is always welcome in AEW. So, at least on the surface, on Tony's end, the door is open for Shane. What do you make of this? Is this something you would want to see?
Why? What's the point? If
Cheap pop.
this was a year ago when Vince was still running things, yeah, that would make a little sense. Now it makes no sense. None.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even see this as a story because what's he going to come to AEW to do? Be an executive? Be a wrestler? I mean,
Oh,
no, it's not a story. That's all I have to say. That's all I have, I think. Until I come up with something else.
I think it would be a whoa, you would get people in the crowd, oh, for one night only, and then nothing. That's the thing. It would just be a cheap pop and then drop, as in the ratings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you, Kev. It's a
I
holy
still
shit.
watch it, but
Yeah, I would love to see the moment of him coming out there for AEW. I guess it gets him some publicity. Never a bad thing. But you're right. Well, what happened the last time we saw Shane on TV? Didn't he tear a quad in his impromptu WrestleMania match with I think was it the Miz? I think right when Miz was hosting WrestleMania.
yeah, and then Snoop
Um,
came in
yeah,
and did the
Snoop came
audible.
in and pulled things together with Miz. Yeah, I mean, exactly, Jay. Like you said, what's he going to do? Be an executive? Be a general manager? We've seen that over and over again with him. And there's not a value in it. And yeah, is he going to like pull together a, you know, put me in blood and guts and I'm going to do a moonsault off the cage through the table? He's crazy enough that he would do it. Yeah, I don't think anybody really wants this. If you think big picture, there's not a lot of meat on the bone, as they say. Could be a fun moment. And that's probably where it ends.
Well, there's no cartilage on his bone because that's how it keeps tearing.
It did that night at WrestleMania.
Boom.
All right, let's get into AEW Forbidden Door. It is a Sunday night in Long Island, New York. Holy shit, there's a lot of matches. We're not going to touch on. I just go down the card, and then you can talk about whatever you want to talk about this card. Things that interest you, things that don't interest you. We've got
12 matches, I think.
match. Huh?
I think there's 12 matches.
A lot of matches.
I've got 10 down, but you know, I think they added some on the 0 hour, so
Yeah.
I'll say what I got, and if you think of something, let me know. We've got the ladder match for the TNT Championship. It's Jack Perry, Dante Martin, Leo Rush, my man Take a Shitter, Mark Briscoe, and a mystery guy, like we said. Maybe that's Dijak. Brian Danielson versus Takagi, Mercedes Moné, Stephanie Vacker, Tony Storm, Mina Shirakawa, Orange Cassidy, Zack Sabre Jr., Moxley versus Naito, MJF versus Hechicero, Tanahashi and the Acclaimed versus the Elite, and Swerve defending the championship against Will Ospreay.
I think Swerve and Ospreay is going to be unbelievable.
I do
Agreed. 100%.
If they are trying to get this thing to Wembley, maybe a double count out, maybe a double disqualification.
Time limit
draw.
Yeah.
We haven't seen one of those in a while.
Not from that's happened before in AEW. Not in a minute though.
That'll be a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that, you know, what happened on Dynamite this week, the build has been really good, even though we all thought this was going to happen later.
Yeah, right.
Because All In, that's August, right?
Yeah, or
Like
very beginning
August.
September. Yeah.
2 months. Yeah, I mean, like you said, we're not going to get into every single one. I think that's the match that's going to be the match.
Yeah. Yeah. Kev?
I agree with Jay 100%. I think the ladder matches are always great in AEW. And to be honest, so I'm looking at the list. You have Leo Rush, Dante Martin. Those guys are going to jump off, do some crazy stuff. You have some hard hitters. Crazy man Mark Briscoe is going to do some wild stuff. That match, ladder matches are always great, and it always has a big question mark, right? Who's going to be the unknown, right? Or what is it? The All In? It's known as like the Joker, right?
Joker, right?
So it's like, yeah, I like it when they throw the question mark out there, because what if Shane McMahon maybe shows up for one night? What if
I'm going to vomit?
Dijak?
That's what's going to happen.
There's a lot of question marks, right? Hopefully we get someone maybe doing like a one-off, not just a, hey, let's put someone on the roster that's not fighting, right? Throw someone in there just for fun. Other than that, a lot of matches. I'm not too familiar with some of the wrestlers.
Mox and Naito are gonna be great. That's gonna be another fun one. I think everything Mox does with these New Japan guys is really good because they're all strong style, hard hitting.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna it's concussion 101 right there.
And
It's
then
like,
one that got added, I think, is Jericho and Minoru Suzuki. So
Yeah.
on or what? But oh man, Suzuki again, fun to watch, even though I don't know the backstory. Like the whole, I don't know it because I don't know New Japan that well, but I know who he is. And I think that will be a very, very fun match.
Yeah, it was like he got proposed to be like in the 6-man, and then they said, no, I want you one-on-one. So maybe that is official now, but I wasn't quite sure. I kind of did the same thing with this when I looked it over about like what am I most excited for, and I also went with the TNT Championship ladder match and Swerve versus Osprey, and I kind of went, you know what? Forbidden Door just may not be for me because those two matches that I'm most excited about have nothing to do with the Forbidden Door. They're all AEW wrestlers, unless the Joker is a New Japan or CMLL wrestler. So I don't know, but I think you go in with an open mind, but it's always this is I think the third Forbidden Door, and it's always weird how there's just this influx of wrestlers from, in this case, New Japan and CMLL that you maybe don't really know, and then come Wednesday's Dynamite, they're all gone, and like the stories start up again. It's a very very weird detour that they do to do this show. It's a cool concept, but it has its own little trickiness, I think.
So I found the matches for 0 Hour. In a trios match, we've got the Lucha Bros and Mystico against Yoda, Tsuji, Teton, and Hiromu Takahashi. Then the Owen Hart women's tournament quarterfinal, Mariah May and Saraya. And then we have a women's tag match, Willow Nightingale and Tam Nakano against Chris Statlander and Momo Watanabe. I don't know if you said those. I don't think you said those matches.
No.
So 12 or 13 matches.
Woo.
And long night. I will watch because I really do believe they do amazing on pay-per-view. They always do. And like this, like you said, Brian, it may not be for you because you're not familiar.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's because I'm not familiar.
Yeah.
That I'm in for it. So it's cool idea, but it's not really forbidden anymore because these people were all on the same TV shows for the most part for every 6 months out of the year. If it's WWE against AEW, that's the real Forbidden Door.
Right. That's the biggest one.
Yeah.
I'm just legitimately wondering, as we mentioned, how Swerve versus Osprey will go. There's been a couple of teases with Osprey and MJF.
Right.
Like you got interrupted doing promo with Daniel Garcia on Wednesday. So that's probably as big a match as AEW can make. You've got the All In down the road in a couple of months. So do they give it to Osprey? I think that'd be a disservice. I hope either that draw, like we've talked about, double count out, whatever it ends up, or Swerve wins. I think would be the decision I would hope for, but time will tell. Time will tell. All right, before we wrap things up, a quick rest in peace to Wild Samoan Sika Anoa'i. Of course, that is Roman Reigns' father at age 79. I think for at least for me, the Wild Samoans were maybe a little before my time, but it's just a name. And obviously, especially these last, I guess, 3-4 years now of everything Bloodline, it's always kind of been there in your consciousness of just the Samoan dynasty of what this is, and just the impact that he and the whole family have had on the wrestling industry.
No, I agree. I think my first interaction with that family was probably the same as you, Bri. Maybe you, Jason. With the head shrinkers were my first ones. Because I think I was in the 3rd grade when I was like, "Ooh, these guys are scary." But that was like one generation above was the Wild Samoans. But Busted Open did it great. They did a call in where people were talking about uh um different scenarios where they saw them live, and Tommy was going into detail about like him reading magazines, and like they were playing with holding raw chickens, and just the ways they looked into the camera at times, and they were a master of psychology without even really saying many words. Like it was nice hearing other people's stories, because I don't have those personal reflections of me watching them. So it was just, that's what I loved listening to Busted Open this week, just hearing Tommy and Bully's comments and reflections on him, and the people that called in. Totally sad. My biggest thing is, though, when he put the red, I say puka shell necklace. It's not, the thing that white people wear, the puka shell, like the red tribal necklace, like his dad putting it over his son, like that. That's like my biggest memory of him, like from my lifetime. Because I didn't get to enjoy him when I was younger, because I don't even know if I was born, to be honest.
Lucky for you, there's a thing called Peacock.
No, for sure.
But for me, like, I would always get them confused because it was like the Wild Samoans, the Head Shrinkers.
Yes, the Head Shrinkers, another one. Yeah,
like they're all meant, So look, it sucks, and obviously what they did at the time was amazing, because when they were around, characters were a part of the industry. Yeah. So it sucks, the whole family. The whole family, is obviously dealing with this, and but. Wrestling business, you got to go to work, show must go on. So, those guys that are currently in the WWE, and, hopefully if there is a funeral, it'll be over the weekend and not so these guys can attend, even though they have jobs to do. And I know that's sounds very insensitive of me to say, but we've all missed stuff because of work.
Well, and without speaking for him, but that's how the old school wrestlers were.
Yes.
You went to work, you missed those things, and things are better today than they were, as far as that respect of like, okay, I'm like would however 20 to 30 years ago, would Pat McAfee have missed Raw when his father-in-law passed away like earlier that day? Probably not. Vince would be like, well, okay, come to work, pal, and then take care of things.
Right.
But so it was not. So yeah, it's different times now, but
do yourself a favor, go to YouTube and just type in Wild Samoans matches.
Yeah.
See what pops up this week.
And then go into Jacob Fatu fan and then close it out for the whole Bloodline experience. No, I'm guessing
don't forget about Ernest on the Avengers.
Probably get a 10 bell salute on SmackDown tonight for sure, and I'm sure Bloodline will be front and center on it, which it just makes you think like how huge that tree really is, because you can't really think of anyone without thinking of someone in that lineage. So it's gonna be a good one,
no doubt. That'll do it for this week. YouTube.com/That Wrestling Podcast, at That WrestlePod for all the social media.
Sorry, Brian, I don't mean to cut you off, but there is breaking news. Kevin, hit the sounder.
Oh.
LeBron James is sleeping with the mother of his newest teammate.
Oh.
It took me a second.
Oh, so Bronny got signed by the Lakers?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah,
He
Bronny
didn't get
James.
drafted in the second?
He did. Pick 55 by the Lakers.
Oh,
Yeah.
Apparently his agent, Rich Paul, was calling teams and says, if you draft him, he's going to Australia.
Oh, one of my Celtics.
And he was not taking a two-way deal to go play in the G League either. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. All the memes are coming out, you know.
That's good.
LeBron's sitting in a dark corner. Bronny walks in and he goes, what's up with you missing that corner, Jay?
Mm-hmm.
Or, yeah, all the memes are coming out about LeBron James and Bronny James being teammates now with the Lakers. I don't love it, but I think it could be kind of cool. I watched Bronny on Sneaker Shopping this week, and he just seems like a pretty chill dude, you know, gone through a lot in the last year. So don't be a hater. Don't dwell on the fact that he only averaged 4 points a game at USC in his freshman year. I actually was hoping he would stay in college, transfer to Duquesne University in Pittsburgh.
That was the rumor.
LeBron's high school coach was the coach, and now LeBron's guy, one of his guys, is the coach there. And I thought, well, Bronny will go to Duquesne. LeBron will love Pittsburgh, and he won't want to be part of the Vegas expansion NBA. It'll be the Pittsburgh expansion NBA team. LeBron James could lead, but no, none of that's happening.
Wasn't to be.
I'm going to take my breaking news back.
Jesus, that's funny.
Whatever.
All right, where were we? At That Wrestle Pod is the social media, and whatamaneuver.net is the merchandise. We hope you have a great weekend, whether you're watching Forbidden Door or anything else. As always, enjoy wrestling.
Except Joe.
Thanks for watching That Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And for more That Wrestling Podcast content, follow at That WrestlePod on social media.